We at the Adventure Bike Shop have used our experience from our own halfway around the world and back travels. To put together a range of products that we think are top quality, will last you a trip. Brands we know and trust, products we've used ourselves. Dumb products. And what am I going to say? Welcome to the Adventure Bike Shop. This is now getting good.
The Adventure Bike Shop, proud sponsors of
Adventure Bike TV.
Hello and welcome to Adventure Bike TV's Christmas special, and it truly is a special one for us this month because for the very first time we are filming in front of a live studio audience. Audience, say hello! And for only the second time we have got all three presenters together.
Okay, well on this show we've got the two-part Pyrenees ride out, we've also got Christmas gifts, we've got Austin, Vince and Lois Pryce under the visor, and we've also got People's Awards sponsored by Real Rider.
So, let's crack on with the show.
Great.
We start the show with part one of our adventure rally.
Welcome to Adventure Bike TV's Christmas special adventure. Now, in our continuing debate for what makes a great adventure, we thought we could go to Africa or the Middle East or Vietnam or South America like any other motoring show, but unfortunately we couldn't make that quite work. So we sat down and thought, what would actually make a really, really great adventure for us personally? And we decided it would be something that was a lot of off-road, something where we had to navigate using a road book, and something that would take in great mountain vistas, and for me, I wanted to throw in a bit of desert. And we found something that we thought would give us all of that. And here's what happened. Now, you might wonder why we're sat in a railway station, and the answer is very simple. Because in our experience, the worst part of this type of trip is getting down to the interesting bit. So we are taking advantage of Auto Train, which is a fantastic service where they put your bike on the train and we collect it tomorrow morning. And actually, it's incredibly simple.
We'd ridden the 173 non-motorway miles from Calais to Paris in the morning, and we were at Paris-Bercy station ready to load up our bikes.
So we're now going through the process of registration. We park the bikes up, and then put stickers on the bikes just so they know the right bike is associated with the right train and the right destination. Unfortunately, we can't take any of our soft luggage and leave it on the bikes, so we've got to cart all that over to the passenger train station. And we don't ride the bikes onto the auto train, they have jockeys who do that.
After we'd watched the jockeys lock down our precious rides, we jumped in a cab over to the passenger station at Gare de Lyon. More waiting, then finally onto the overnight train to Narbonne.
We got on our night train down to Narbonne in Paris, and we were hoping that there'd be three of us in the 6-berth couchette, and it's just unbelievably cramped, and there's 6 people in there, and we're going to make the place stink. So we're just trying to see if we can get a 4-berth upgraded with a tiny bit more space, but literally there is a bed's width between these narrow bunks. I mean, it's just unbelievable. We'll be fine if there are only 3 of us in there, but with 6 it's going to be such a cramped night. We'll see what happens.
No luck with a cabin upgrade, so we hunkered down with our vino like proper hobos in the only space we could find.
Salut!
You want to see my sexy attire? This is how I got such a hot wife. Oh yes. Emma, looking at you.
So, that's Auto Train. Simple service and so easy to use. Now, we hadn't planned on doing much filming on the first day or two because it's all a bit boring getting down to Spain, but things didn't quite go as planned yesterday.
How well has... I mean, we weren't planning to film until, you know, when we got the other side of the Channel Tunnel, really. But do you want to explain why I've decided to start filming now?
We stopped for fuel, and I had tested my fuel tanks over the weekend, and they were absolutely fine. And yet this time when I came to fill it up, it was basically pissing fuel everywhere, and it's still leaking now, even though I thought I stopped it. And in the process of trying to help, Tom came over, leant on the motorcycle, and didn't realise he was putting his hand on the exhaust, so he's got a baby burn down his finger. And we haven't even left England yet.
One non-working fuel tank and one badly burned hand later, things can only get better.
"7 hours of very poor sleep in our cosy cabin found us arriving in Narbonne, 500 miles south of Paris. It's the weirdest coincidence, we've actually arrived actually opposite, not just on this long train, we're actually opposite our bikes. That's really odd. It's really quite cool. This is a station at Narbonne, and I think the first 2 days of this trip have been characterised by a lot of waiting around, and we're doing the last bit of that, so it's an hour and a half wait at the station to wait for the bus to take us to the other side of the station to pick up the bikes. It gives us a nice opportunity to have some breakfast.
So we decided to have the challenge of having proper paper road books, and you decided to cheat by having an app on your phone, which is basically a GPS. And rather than giving you a map directions, it gives you the same directions, but
I think you'll find actually that looks like a road book.
It looks like it, but it's not. It's just a GPS and uses arrows.
Look, if the late Steve Jobs says it's a road book, it's a road book.
When did he ever say it was a road book?
Well, he didn't actually, but the bloke who created the app actually did, and that's good enough for me.
This is a moment when you slightly hard stopping when you hope the bikes are there. What about the big in this?
Yes.
After the hours and hours of waiting around in Dover, Paris and Narbonne, it felt so good to be back on two wheels. So we have 60 miles to ride on the road, according to all roads of course, till we get to Collioure, which is the start of the off-road route. So that should take us an hour and a quarter or so. Yeah, so that takes us to about 11 o'clock. And then we've got 120 miles of the off-road to get to, hopefully, a shepherd's bothy, where we will decide whether we sleep in it tonight or sleep outside and look at it, depending on whether it's full of sheep. This is Collioure, right in South France, just past Perpignan, and we are literally on the first GPS point at the start of 1,300 kilometres of mainly off-road riding, and the weather is spectacular. It is warm and sunny, to the point I might have to derobe in a moment.
And the water is apparently 20 degrees C.
It's sort of tempting, but then it'll be all salt when we got out.
There are people actually in the water sphere.
I'm just desperate to get off and do some proper riding now. And proper riding we found. Within 2 miles of leaving Collioure, we were on the trails.
just completed the first 20 minutes of the route proper, which has been half and half track and tarmac, and it's a bit of a shock to the system for me, coming back and doing navigation, balancing the road book and the GPS and seeing where you're going. And we both said the front end of the KTMs are quite light, but it's good fun though.
It's just great fun. Just load it up a little bit, and it does make it a bit light and a bit sketchy, but we'll get used to it, and then it'll be more standing up, more over the front wheel, and it'll be fine.
Yeah. 10k down, only another 150 to do to go.
The route took us straight up into the mountains, the most easterly part of the Pyrenees. It didn't take too much longer for me to be reminded just why this route is such a spectacular one to ride. Open hillsides, forest trails, dried up riverbeds, and even old military zones. However, the joys of being back in the Pyrenees were to be short-lived. The bumpy ex-military zone caused me some unexpected issues at the rear of my bike.
But that'll go straight through your tyre next time.
I can't believe I'm getting that much travel. That says to me something wrong with my suspension. It's taken this off as well.
Yeah, it's taken the
Taking the light off.
yeah. At least they're red LEDs, aren't they?
Yeah. You may notice something odd about the back of my bike, which is that that's not on there. And it's because my suspension is bottoming me out. And I'm not even doing jumps or anything, it's just going over little bumps.
I'm not sure I'm helping very much by telling Graham that don't worry, this makes great TV. Not sure it's not sure I'm helping the situation at all, really.
I just think we've got to get this off, because you're either going to have to go at 5 miles an hour, and we're still going to have the problem later on anyway.
That was like that. So that distance was no different to yours. So the issue has got to be my suspension, not that.
Yeah, but my number plate's going out like that.
Yeah,
your
but
number plate is about 4 inches lower.
I bet it's not. Your number plate's twice the depth of mine to start with. And mine, it was at that angle before.
Okay, right. Who's got a?
By all means, check it. Right. So my suspension, suspension was at the softest setting. So let me just put it at the hardest setting and see what difference that makes first.
Okay. There is Graham's, right?
Yeah, I'm not refereeing this match. Seeing as the last thing this bike did was the event, maybe we can blame it on Austin.
So with a combination of a good idea to take it off and unbend it, and then some G-force, and some stones,
Some red Power Ranger.
some red Power Ranger! The most important thing was, it was a team effort. Yeah. And very challenging. I had to get it back together and see if it works.
Bored now. Had enough of this repair and malarkey. Let's get a wiggle on. Yay! Right, that's it. Let's go.
How long did that repair take us, Tom? 2 hours?
Yep.
Yeah, 2 hour delay. We won't get to the Bothy tonight, I don't think, but we'll just crack on and do as much as we can.
We've gone about 1.8 miles and framed the tower for the speedo and the sat nav and the supporting of the fairing have come loose, and we're now trying to tighten them up.
Spectacular day of riding, of the riding we did. Enjoyed it muchly, but an unexpectedly eventful day in terms of things going wrong with my suspension and Andrew's fairing coming a bit loose, and then something we didn't get on camera, which was my fuel injection playing up at the top of a mountain, and I was just hanging my head in my elbows at that point because I just thought, what else can go wrong on the first day of riding? But then it all gets better because the riding is spectacular that we've been doing, and we're in a fabulous campsite while camping somewhere in the middle of nowhere.
The main thing really was the suspension, and when we get back you need to get that sorted. For the rest of the journey we need to just take it easy, otherwise we won't complete it.
Yeah. Woke up with the crack of dawn, and it's lovely. There's a really clear sky, so that means it's warm enough first thing in the morning to not have to put on layers, and it means it's going to be a really lovely warm day with a lot of riding to do to catch up on what we didn't do yesterday. But that's a good thing, because that's what we're here for, is the riding. And quite frankly, I'm feeling fresh and ready to rock and roll.
Hey, hut, hut, Power Rangers! Huh! Hey!
Ahead of us today were our original 150 miles of planned riding plus another 50 miles that we'd not completed the previous day. In theory, with no further delays, even with it being mostly slow off-road riding, it was doable. The roadbook route we were following had been designed to be navigable by 4x4s and motorbikes. This meant most of the tracks were wide, but there was no shortage of challenging, steep, rocky trails. And the views just got better and better, until that is, we had some luggage security issues.
Could you see which straps had come undone?
Take them all off and then.
Those two are still there.
They're not the straps though. I think they're all there, if I'm honest.
Happy, Gray? Yeah.
See you in the booty.
Yeah, all good. All good. Happy days.
Those loose, rocky trails were really quite demanding of our amateur skills, but we were getting better hour by hour. Just a word of warning though, don't get too cocky.
Firstly, are you okay?
Yes. Pride before a fall. I came round, told Graham to go a bit quicker on the rough stuff. Came round here, went to give it a squirt, and it just skipped out and almost went over the edge.
Two, go. Front wheel's very close, folks. Your front wheel's going to go then.
Come back.
Down. You ready? 1, 2, 3. I'm going to drag it. 1, 2, 3.
That's it.
Oh, the joys of off-road riding. The Vibraction roadbook and guidance, when you get it, recommends it's either 7 to 9 or 7 to 10 days for this, and we were hoping to do it 6.5. And what we've realised is, actually it's 1:15 now, so in an afternoon and a morning we have done what we had hoped to do in a day. So I think if you didn't have any incidents, it's possible to do the distance we were expecting to do every day. But depending on how much we get done this afternoon, with having to stop when things happen, it's not looking promising. Now, we were doing nice gravelly open bits yesterday where we had a problem with my bike.
Yeah, where you can motor along at 25 mile an hour. You can't.
Here it's not just loose, it's big loose stuff, which is worse. It's so
Yeah,
hard to control.
pick up that boulder next to you, Graham, just so you can. Yeah. It never really looks the same on camera.
It's all like this. And they're also magnetic. Have you noticed? Try as you might not to drive towards the big rock in the middle of the road, you find yourself drawn towards it.
We've stopped so Graham can put his jacket on and we can admire the view because it is amazing.
Those fabulous views were short-lived as the mountain top fog drew in, or was it cloud? Well, it was always going to be a push.
That's really funny because it's 4 o'clock today and we've probably had about an hour and a half stoppages.
Today?
Yeah. So if you take those stoppages and the 2-hour stoppage and then maybe we could have done it just about, but it would have been a big ask.
Yeah.
And we'd have been exhausted.
Leaving the bothy behind us, we rode down the mountain, out of the fog, and started searching for Wild Campsite 2. We will have part 2 later in the show. See you after the break.
Adventure Bike Shop, we also do a wide range of soft luggage, if that's more your thing.
We really care about the adventure motorcycle market and try to make it as many shows as possible to see our customers. So if you can't come to the shop, come see us at a show.
Right, back from the break, and now it's time for a very special Under the Visor.
James Cargo Motorcycle Shipping sponsors Under the Visor.
as with everything else on the Christmas special, we're doing things just a little bit differently. And under the visor this month, we have two guests. We have Austin Vince and Lois Pryce. Welcome.
Thank you.
Howdy.
Lovely to see both of you again.
Great to be here.
Is this, well, how long has it been since you've been interviewed together? Because I see a lot of interviews where you've done separately, but how long has it been since you've been interviewed
I
together?
don't know if we ever have.
Never.
Actually. I think
Yeah,
this is a groundbreaking experience.
And never before filmed in a cool person's storage facility.
Is that where we are?
Well, we do like to be first. So
Yeah, well,
it's fabulous to have you here together. So, Lois, let me just start with you. Now, as I understand it, you were in a corporate job at the BBC, and then something made you think, I know what, I'm going to go off and ride all the way through America. Just kind of tell us what happened.
Yeah, sure. So I essentially worked, my whole adult life since I left school, and I ended up in a job that was tedious. It wasn't a bad job, but it was a job that just involved trudging up the stairs and sitting in a grey office 9 to 5, Monday to Friday, and I just, like so many of us thought, oh no, I can't do this for the rest of my life. So that was my, late 20s crisis, or whatever you want to call it. That feeling, I suppose, coincided with me passing my bike test, and me and my best friend had just thought we'd learn to ride bikes together. We thought it'd be a laugh. I got no biking in my family or anything like that. I didn't really know anyone that rode motorcycles, but I just thought it looked like a cool thing to do, and it was. We passed our tests. I don't think she ever rode a bike again, and then I got into riding classic British bikes, BSAs and stuff like that. And so I think it was that combination of kind of itchy feet, boring job, motorcycle licence. It was like, bing, light bulb. Oh, okay, now I know what to do with my life sort of idea. So I packed in the job. And, well, I started looking into sort of having a motorcycle adventure. I didn't have a clue what that meant, or I just knew that I wanted to see the world, and a bike seemed like the best way to do that. And so it's 2002, and of course at that time the internet and motorcycling, adventure motorcycling on the internet was still quite lean, really. There was Horizons Unlimited, but that was probably about it. So of course Chris Scott's Adventure Motorcycling Handbook was the kind of Bible. And so I came across that pretty quickly, and that really transformed everything, because I read that cover to cover millions of times, and I realised, oh wow, these are just normal people who do this stuff. So if they can do it, I can do it, and that was really the kind of kicking off point.
Austin?
Good morning.
Mondo Enduro, which I watched for the first time 10 years ago, actually sitting in the Pyrenees.
Last
on a
night.
campsite. I actually watched it on my phone, a little speaker next to the camp in the Pyrenees. And absolutely. In fact, that was the second time. I watched it at home, and I watched it with my friends when we were away. And so I guess lots of people in our audience have seen that. But before that, and we've talked before about the trips you used to do with your brother before you were even thinking necessarily about doing that, that huge trip. And you used to go away around Europe. What changed your mind or motivated you to just go from, I'm going on trips with my brother for a couple of weeks around Europe, and actually know me and 6 friends?
Yeah,
6 friends. We're actually going to go for 440 odd days and do this incredible, almost record-breaking challenge. What kind of went from there to there? How did you
there was, when I left Sandhurst, I had 2 weeks leave, and my brother kind of hijacked me, kidnapped me, and he rendered me to Morocco, and we went riding around there, 2 up on his FJ 1200, and that was great fun. And we were up in the Rif Mountains. Anybody who knows Morocco will know that we're just 60 miles from the Mediterranean, so hardly the Moroccan incursion. But we'd see these bikes, I don't know what they were, Africa Twins or something, but they all had German number plates, covered in dust. This was in '88. This would be April '89. These guys coming, going past us. We were on our nice clean FJ 1200 in leathers, clean leathers, all of that, and we're going along thinking we're outlaws and crazy, and these blokes going past, the goggles all covered in the dust, and the bike dust all glued onto the oil leak of the cylinder block of these bikes, and they just, when they went past, as they went past us, it was, you could see, it wasn't so much disdain, but we realised we'd completely missed the point. And we thought that driving on a bike around the streets of Morocco would be exciting, of course, but we were learning. We just didn't know. And so then we had this idea of going around Eastern Europe in the summer of '91,
when the Berlin Wall had just come down, and at a stroke all of these incredibly convoluted visa regulations had all evaporated overnight. So suddenly you could drive through Poland. Poland, Czechoslovakia was like an exotic location in the 70s and 80s. You'd never meet anyone who'd driven around Czechoslovakia. So suddenly we did all this huge, not huge, a 3-week trip around Eastern Europe. And the thing that hit us there that we weren't ready for was we went looking for like mountains and waterfalls and stuff like that, but we found pollution, factories, unbelievably ugly public housing, road signs that were all fallen down and looked like they were made by drunk people. Then we found drunk people, and there was a fascinating crapness to the whole of Eastern Europe that was absolutely the key part of the trip, not the motorcycling or the distance or the sunsets or whatever. And about that, and so we got back from the trip, we had loved it, and we just thought, well, look, we've got to do something, there's got to be some kind of natural progression to this, because we loved it was so much fun, and everyone, and we realised that most of our friends weren't having those kinds of holidays, and then somebody said, do you think it's possible to drive across Russia? And everyone said, no, you're not allowed to do that. And then we saw in about 92, something like that, in British Bike Magazine, which I was subscribed to, this guy called Sean Hawker from Bristol wrote a VSA to Australia, which is not a big deal. It's been happening all through the 50s, 60s and 70s. But this guy, Sean Hawker, his route went through from Turkey into Georgia, then Azerbaijan, then you got the ferry across the Caspian Sea, and then he had a government escort that took him across Turkmenistan, Uzbekistan and Kazakhstan, and then he got out of Kazakhstan up to Karakorum and all that stuff, and then down into India that way. Now, I wasn't a student of this stuff, but I was pretty sure I'd never heard of anything like that happening before. All these Stan countries, we none of us knew the names of them properly, or where they were, how they fitted next to each other, and this extraordinary black hole that was Central Asia, that no one could sketch a map of it or anything. So I read this article, and in the good old days, you wrote a letter to British Bike Magazine, Morton's Media, whoever it was, up in Nathan, who does it? Are they Morton's? Go Morton's, yeah. But yeah, so we wrote to British Bike Magazine, got this guy Sean Hawker's address, or they forwarded our letter to him. He phoned me up one day at school where I was working, and we got chatting. We all arranged very quickly. This was an emergency meeting. All of our mates I had like 4 friends with motorcycle licenses, and Joel, my brother, was one of them. We all went down to Bristol, met him, and he said, yeah, and he, of course, like any Englishman. So this is like 1993. And he's, I think, the first Englishman to ride a motorcycle across Kazakhstan. And so we were in awe, sitting at his knees, just listening to these stories. It's very big. It was really exciting. And at that time, I just thought I had a brainwave. I had a free period at school. I'd gone into the library at school, and for some reason found myself in the geography section. And found the school had a full collection of Time Life picture book essay coffee table type books. One was called the Blue Ridge Parkway, one was called The Sahara, one was called the Coral Reefs of Australia, something like that, but one was called Soviet Deserts and Mountains. And that name jumped out at me, and I thought there's no such thing. Because I thought Soviet, mud, swamp, snow, Siberia. And so I got this book out, and it had a map in it, all these countries, Stan this, Stan the other, and I'd never heard of them. And I thought, what? And I started looking through it, then the Sean Hawker thing, and I became fascinated with this idea of Central Asia. And I got a book about the Great Game, about the history of British involvement out there, and all these army officers in the hole, in the ground in Merv, and the minaret in Bukhara, and Samarkand, and all these fabulous flying carpet style names and everything. Then this weird overlay of the Soviet Union on top of it. You're not quite sure culturally what you're getting. So that's once we thought of all that stuff, and then somebody said, "You didn't get across the Soviet Union?" Then we said, "Well, let's try."
I remember talking to you, Austin, some while ago, and you said to me, maybe it was on the stage somewhere, and I asked you about great achievements and stuff. And you said, that in your view, that your greatest achievement was persuading Lois to marry you.
Yeah.
So the question to Lois is, how did he persuade you to marry you?
I'd rather
What was it about the young man?
No. It was the overalls, obviously. Well, he didn't have to persuade me very much at all, did you? It was
Well, I only had to ask once.
I could make it rain, and I have to say, we were on a bike trip, and we were in rain like this, wearing army ponchos when he proposed. So I thought, well, if any bloke's going to ask a girl to marry him who's wearing, green plastic cape, then I thought he's got to be good.
And how did you meet in the first place?
We met because.
Lay-by on the A41.
Where I meet all my men. It was one of those friends of a friend. I was planning my first trip. I said to a friend who was nothing to do with motorcycling, actually. We both kind of have music backgrounds as well. And it was a mutual friend through the music world. And I was saying, I'm going to do this bike trip. And I was telling him all about it. And he said, oh, you should meet this guy called Austin Vince. He's been around the world on a motorbike. And then he said a very interesting phrase, which I always remembered. He said, he's like the male equivalent of you. And I thought, well, what does that mean? And when someone says that about somebody, like, oh, this could go really horribly wrong, or it could, so obviously it was a good thing, I hope.
Yeah.
So, we met up, started talking about bikes and travelling, and one thing led to another, as they say.
And do you actually, I mean, you're both very well known in your own rights for things you've done separately, but do you ride much together?
Well, we have done some trips together. Our honeymoon was a big road trip together on two bikes round kind of Europe, Eastern and Western Europe, so about 6-7 weeks on the road there. We did a trip across the States in a Ural sidecar, which is a great test of a marriage. Taking it in turns to ride and be in the sidecar, and we stayed married throughout that. We've done other. I mean, we went to the Pyrenees.
Around Iran together.
Austin came out to Iran on the last time I was out there. He came out to join me for a bit.
We set up I had this idea for a Pyrenees orienteering event, and I don't know if we'd already got married or if it was in the run-up to the marriage when I said to Lois, look, would you be prepared to come out to the Pyrenees, and stay with me for a week while we kind of experiment and ride around all these mountains and see if we can get enough trails to create an orienteering event. And she was very game and said, yeah, sure, that'll be okay. So that whole project was very much a step into the unknown, where you drive up trails and they might have a gate across them or something like that. So there was a lot of defeat and getting knocked back. So I was very, very impressed that she took that in her stride.
That was fun.
We had a big argument on about the fourth night about my criticising her map reading, and well, she was wrong, so I had to. And so after some frayed tempers and a couple of bottles of wine, it wouldn't go away. This thorn in our side wouldn't go away. And I thought, well, we've only been married like 6 days or something like that. This isn't very good. And so look, and I thought, we need to get closure on this, or we'll never hear the end of it. We'll be talking about it on TV in like 13 years' time. So I got the map out to gently, with not being, not paternal or patronising way, to gently point out to my darling wife what the mistake she'd made was. It was her day of map reading, so we did taking turns, and of course she was right and I was wrong. And but it was only after a load of turbulence between us that I realised that she'd been right the whole time. So that was probably a very good thing to learn my place.
As do we all.
Yeah. But we also motorcycled around Morocco, and I was violently sick all over Austin. So that was another test of the marriage. He was very gallant about that. So it's
Have you ever, I imagine maybe you've talked about it, been tempted to go and do, you've done these amazing big adventures together, to go and do a great big adventure together?
We've talked about it. I don't know why we haven't really got around to it.
I think we've got too many other things that we want to do. And we've both done that kind of thing. And because if we didn't do that, let's ride from London to Magadan together, if we didn't do that, we'd still spend that time together. And that's my number one objective, to spend as much time with her as possible. So, it's the opposite. If somebody said to me, look, do you want to come on such and such a trip? We'll pay you to do it, actually. I don't really want to do anything that takes me away from it.
So So you mentioned Iran. I know I'm skipping the African trip.
That's all right,
Just to hear about Iran. So you've been there twice now?
Yes, and I'm hoping to go back. It's tricky with the visa and stuff at the moment. But yeah, it was absolutely transformative experience. I love it there. It's the most interesting country I've ever been to. And it's so different to what we hear about, what we expect. So it's just brilliant. Brilliant.
Yeah. Well, my only, not that I've ever been there, the only thing I've ever watched in terms of travel through it was a champion pretends to be an adventure motorcyclist, no he is. But he did some another adventure thing where he went, well, I think by train through there, and he went through around. But him and his
adventure motorcyclist with the train? That's never going to happen.
We've all done it, come on!
But he was talking about the people being amazing there and incredibly friendly.
Yeah,
I mean, completely different from what you expect.
Yeah, absolutely. You think, it's got this image, of course, of the kind of heavy, religious, strict, angry Muslim environment, and it's not like that at all. The Iranians are really the most fun people. They really muck about. They have a laugh. They're just brilliant fun to be with, and you get this sort of tidal wave of hospitality and warmth and fun just the minute you cross the border. It's just amazing. And I mean, I couldn't stop for people, offering me food and coming into their houses and giving me tea, and and this is the guys and the women and everybody. It's just, obviously that's part of the culture, but it's something else. It's beyond that. It's just maybe because they've been so cut off from the rest of the world that they're really happy and excited to see people coming to their country. And now it's kind of opening up a little bit more. It's everybody I spoke to there was really excited about that. So yeah, it's brilliant. I really recommend it.
Thank you so much, Austin and Lois. It's been a privilege and a pleasure, and I wish we just had another hour. Well, we can talk too much anyway, can't we? Thank you so much. And audience, thank you very much. And we had a fabulous, and I believe a genuine first, when we had Austin and Lois together on Under the Visor. Let's see what the audience thought. Perfect. Yeah, one more. Perfect. One more. Now it's time for the People's Awards, and we've had over 5,000 votes for these from 18 different countries. And as far as we're aware, they're the only awards voted for by adventure bike riders. The first award is for Best Adventure Clothing, and to present the award is Sam Manacon.
Brilliant, fantastic. Okay, here we go. The nominees are Halversons, Klein, Revit, RST, Rucker, and Touratech. And the winner is Klein.
You need the award.
Thank you. There you go. Congratulations.
Thanks very much.
I'd just like to say I'm accepting this on behalf of Adventure Spec, who are actually the Klein distributors, and they've done a great job of promoting the Klein brand here in the UK. And of course, I like the brand, and I sell it, a lot of it. It's really good stuff. But it's great to get an award, and thanks to everyone that voted for it.
Now to present the award for Best Helmet Manufacturer is our very own Tammy.
And the nominees are AGB, Arai, HJSU, Nex, Schubert, Shark and Shoei. And the winner is Arai.
Thank you everybody from Adventure Bike TV for voting for us in the People's Award for the Best Helmet Manufacturer. It's obviously an award we're really delighted to receive. Arrow has always been about maximum service and quality of the brand, and it's great to see that that's being translated through to the public. So thank you very much, and we look forward to another great year of trading in 2016.
Our next category is Best Insurance Company Customer Service. And our nominees are Bennett's, Bike Shore, Carol Nash, Devitt, MCE, Principal. Winner is, and the winner is Carol Nash.
Okay, I'd like to say a big thank you to all the viewers of Adventure Bike TV. So on behalf of Carol Nash winning the Customer Service Award in the insurance category, really important to us because that's what we're all about in terms of customer service and looking after our customers. And to know that there's like nearly 6,000 people that have taken part and voted up against all our peers as well, some of the big players in the insurance industry, really happy, so thanks very much.
To present the award for Best Adventure Motorcycling Publication, including online, can I welcome back Tandy.
And the nominees are Adventure Bike Rider, ADV Moto, ADV Pulse, Brake Magazine, MEM, and Overland Magazine. And the winner is Adventure Bike Rider.
Yeah, we've got to put it in front of the subscription offer, right? Anyway, thank you ever so much, all the viewers of Adventure Bike TV. It's our first award. You know, this is going to take pride of place on my bike, of course. Thank you ever so much. Delighted to win this and accept it on behalf of all the staff. Cheers.
The award for Best Dealer Customer Service is going to be presented by Nathan.
And the nominees are BMW, CCM, Ducati, Honda, KTM, Suzuki, Triumph, and Yamaha. And the winner is all BMW.
Okay, makes us extremely proud to accept this award from Adventure Bike TV, the People's Award for 2015. So for customer service experience, so voted by the viewers, which is really important to us, for the best customer service for the dealer network in the UK. This is something we're really proud of because we've encouraged our dealers to embrace customer service over the last few years. So again, accepting the award on behalf of the UK dealer network as well, a great job done, so thank you all.
To present the award for Best Adventure Luggage, Austin Vince.
Okay, Best Adventure Luggage, so the nominees are Alt Rider with their Hemisphere soft pannier, Bumo and their pannier, Trekker Outback made by Jivy, Krieger's legendary US-20, sorry, Metal Mule have been shortchanged in the graphics department and they're now known as Almu. But where they've cut back on letters, they've increased on pannier capacity, and their max pannier is a nominee. SW Motortech with the Trax ADV pannier, and of course Touratech with their Sega Pro 2. And the winner is. Very exciting. The winner is the Touratech Sega Pro 2. And who's going to take this award to Mr. Touratech himself? UK. Mr. Nick Plum, well done, Nick.
Thank you very much.
Okay, that's it.
I'd obviously like to say thank you to the people, of course. Touratech have been around for obviously an awful long time, and I think next year you're going to see some more exciting stuff coming from Touratech. So again, thank you very much. Cheers.
To present the award for Best Retailer Customer Service, Lois Pryce.
Okay, so the nominees are the Adventure Bike Shop, Adventure Bike Warehouse, Adventure Spec, Cotswold Outdoor, Get Geared, Moto Central, Motorcycle Travel Shop, Rally Raid, Tour Tech, and Travel Dry Plus. And the winner is the Adventure Bike Shop!
Just like to say thank you to everybody. Our customers are favourite people to us, so we're really pleased.
Okay, now the award for Most Inspiring Adventure Rider. And our nominees are Antonia Bolingbroke-Kent, Austin Vince, Charlie Borman, Ed March, Graham Field, Lois Pryce, Nathan Millward, Nick Sanders, Sam Manicom, and Ted Simon. And the winner is Ed March. Ed's off on some short adventure somewhere around the world at the moment, so on his behalf, Austin, would you collect his award?
Great, wow. Do you want to say something? This is a huge...
It should have been mine!
No. Quite the opposite, because if I had won it, I'd have said this should have gone to Ed March. And I mean that as no disrespect to the other nominees that are in the room. But I think Ed March is exactly what our community and this industry and this landscape needs. A youngster who just wants to have a good time and goof about, and hopefully he's the guy that's going to get other youngsters into it, without a doubt. So this is a huge, I think whoever voted for him did really well, but of course a vote for Nathan Millwood, Sam Manicom or Lois Pryce or Graham Field would have been votes well spent as well. Hopefully we'll eventually have some kind of proportional representation and there'll be an array of prizes. Everyone's a winner in modern adventure motorcycling. Well, this is really cool. Well done, you voters. Well done.
Hello ladies and gentlemen, let's turn my bike off. I've just received news that I've won a Most Inspirational Rider award from Adventure Bike TV. Thank you very much. I'll take my helmet off as well. Yeah, where I am at the moment is Rach and I, and Rachel's over there in the distance. We've just got to the end of the Trans-America Trail, riding across the states off-road as part of our Alaska to Argentina trip. So yeah, thank you very much for the award. Being the most inspiring rider, something which I actually quite like, because all it really refers to is what have you done that's kind of helped others, really. It's not how cool do you look or you know, most notable achievement. It's how many people have actually seen stuff that you're doing and have gone out and done it themselves. And so yeah, thank you very much.
And finally, it's the award for the best adventure bike currently in production. And to present the award, we have Andrew from Real Rider.
The nominees are the BMW R1200 GS Adventure, the CCM GP450, the KTM 1190 Adventure R, the Triumph Tiger 800 XCX, and the winner is the Triumph Tiger 800 XCX.
Congratulations. Wow, really pleased to be able to accept this award. The fact that it's been voted by you guys riding the bikes is fantastic. So yeah, thank you very much.
We'd like to say a huge thank you to the 5,000 plus adventure bike riders out there who voted for the awards, and we will definitely be back with awards next year. Now it's time for a break.
We have the largest selection of hard luggage under the one roof in this country. Bollocks.
Now, you're probably wondering why I've invited you all here today. The reason is I would like all three of you to get into this replicated pannier box. And together with a keyring and stickers, you're going to be part of a limited edition 3-book box set. And you're going to retail for just £34.99, including postage in the UK. Was he just talking to his books?
We are the sole UK stockist of the Redverse 10, the original park your bike in the garage 10. We also have a range of tents and other camping equipment from a number of trusted brands. That was
Welcome back from the break. Now this time last year I reviewed a whole range of different Christmas gift ideas. But as we've got an audience with us, we decided we'd let them do it this time. And at the end, we're going to do a raffle and let them win it. Anybody want to win a prize at the end?
Okay, we'll go and find out what people are making of their products. We're here with Mr. Vince's crew. Guys, what do you have here that you're reviewing?
Little quiz. Yeah, I thought it was going to be a bit average when we opened it up, but
It's quite fiddly, and what we got there in the end.
Trivial Pursuit?
Yes, but everything has a geographical, travel-y type subtext. Let's give you an example question from the Where box. I'm studying myself on the island, which was the home to the dildo. Oh, sorry, dodo. Where am I?
Soho.
No. The home of the dodo? Mauritius.
Okay, what else have we got reviewing?
You've got to be careful about reviewing these now because we've got some videos by some dodgy bloke who's been. Now, in reviewing them, obviously we've not been able to watch them. We've read the blurb on the back. If that helps.
Is it an entertaining case?
No, it does look very good. Although it does look as though it takes 10 years to make each one, because we've got a 92, a 2001, and I think 2014, 15.
We've got
Mondo Sahara, then the one before that was Terra Circa, and then before that Mondo Enduro, which was the first one, and I think we'd seen Mondo Enduro.
Mondo Enduro was one of the first things that got me excited watching it on the telly. Excited.
And have you seen
Not excited that way.
So can we interrupt to see how you're getting on with your Christmas presents?
Well, I was just playing with this. It's amazing.
What is it? Show the camera.
Right. It's basically it's a little kit to teach you how to do knots. I actually just tied Tammy up with it. It was brilliant.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, in there we've got knots.
So do you envisage a time when these would be useful, other than like a regular
all the time.
shoelace knot?
I think everybody should learn how to do knots, some kind of knots. I don't know. I'd like it as a gift.
Would you?
Yeah, actually, seriously. I like quirky little things. And
what do you make of it?
Yeah, it's good. I mean, I've got an older version, probably about 15 years old, and it's got a lot more features than mine's got. So yeah, I mean, the price is good.
Do you reckon it'd be handy for taking on a trip?
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, I think almost certainly.
Now we've got Lois on the Loose, the acclaimed book by Lois Pryce, who's here today. What do you reckon? Is it something you'd read? Something you'd read?
I haven't listened to an interview. I think it'd be a very interesting book to read. Yeah, I mean, Sam has got the book. What do you think, Sam?
It's a good read. It's good. Yeah, definitely. I've only read some.
Favourite part about it?
I like where she can go in a hotel and she can have a motorbike in the room where she sleeps in. So.
Does it inspire you to do a trip, or have you got one planned?
Yeah, I'd like to. And it does seem to encourage women that haven't been out but would like to,
So all in all, a good
read, yeah.
Yeah, all right. This is my tickling stick. This is my tickling stick, and we're here with this group.
Your book, Nathan?
No, it's not. We've got this read by Nathan Millward, and this one by Will and Kate. Yeah, both actually. Theirs is a Sydney-London trip, and then so same route as I did, I think, and then that's my extension of my original Sydney-London trip. So first of all, the Will and Kate one. What are your thoughts? Is this as a person who doesn't read books given to you? Is it something you'd read?
I read a page about AK-47s and it seemed very articulate and good, and I've looked at the photo in the back, but you'll get far more sense from Emma about a review of your book.
Really? Emma, tell us about my book.
It's a fascinating book, but contrary to what you might expect, it's not a description of your route per se. It's more about the people that you've met and the stories that you've seen on the way. So it's more a sort of a satirical explanation of your route rather than a line by line, take this route, that route. And it's truly interesting. As someone who's new to motorcycling, I think it'd be a really good buy.
Thank you very much. I can't disagree.
So guys, you're reviewing the Altrider large sink bag. What's your thoughts on it?
Yeah, excellent bag. I didn't realise at first that it's got the holders to go on the bike, because I thought you'd have to use them for extras, more money, but they're in the case, so less pay out. Like I say, fully waterproof. If you haven't got a lot of stuff in it, you can pull all the straps down, so you can pull it down quite small on your motorbike, and obviously if you've got a lot of stuff, it's expandable to get more gear. So very good product. Very good.
What overall review on the product? Would you buy it?
Yeah, I would. Yeah.
Would you like it in your Christmas stocking this year?
Yeah, you would.
10 out of 10.
Yep.
Thank you very much, guys. Okay, so you guys got the Altrider sink bag, the small one.
Yeah.
Let me hear your thoughts on it.
It looks very well made. However, I'm a bit concerned that both ends are open. I think it'd work a lot better with one end sealed and just the roll one end. So I feel you're wasting a lot of space just on that roll, which is...
Do you not think when you've got all your bags stacked up and for easy access, do you not think it would come in handy? If you had, say, the large, small, medium and small, the large one you can have everything all sealed in, but this one you can access it from both sides. Would you not find that handy when you're out on the road?
No, why do you need to access such a small bag from both sides?
Okay, so you're reviewing Ted Simon's Jupiter Travel audiobook. Okay, have you read Ted Simon's book before?
I read the original book in book form. I haven't read the CDs yet.
Do you think audiobooks are the way forward, or do you prefer reading a hardback?
I do believe audiobooks are the way forward. I do listen to them. I've just listened to Sam Manicom's Out of Africa. Thoroughly enjoyable. Yet to listen to this one.
Right, okay. So, moving on, what we got over here, you two?
The knife.
The knife. Yeah. Okay, what's your thoughts on the knife?
At the moment, it's the sharpest tool in the box.
You've been on working on that one a while, haven't you? Would you like this in your Christmas stocking?
Not really, no. Prefer a multi-tool. That's a mono tool, isn't it?
The gloves, Revit gloves, good protection, some good features like the visor wipe. I'd be interested in getting a pair of those. Excellent Christmas gift, yeah.
I'm on your Christmas list.
I think so, yeah, definitely.
Brilliant. Thank you very much. Hi guys. Hi. So you've been reviewing Sam Manicom's books?
Yeah.
Have you read them before?
We've got this one at home, the Into Africa.
Yeah.
They're very interesting books, so we definitely recommend these for anybody who's into adventure motorcycling. We'd definitely read them, and we would definitely buy them as Christmas gifts.
Ah, brilliant. So that one will be on your list, but you've already got that one.
Read that one, yeah, but that's a good book.
Brilliant. Can you tell me what you have over here to review?
This is the Clean Canteen Reflect bottle. As we can see, it's a bottle. Stainless steel, easy to clean, and cute.
It is cute, isn't it?
Would I like one? Yeah, why not?
Brilliant. What else have we got here?
Well, we've got Lois's book.
Brilliant. Have you read it before?
No, quick flick through. It looks okay.
Is that a good read? Have you read Lois's book before?
I haven't read that one, no. So, but it's definitely worth a read. Her other books are very good.
What have you got here?
The Joy of Camping. It looks like one of those 1950s reprinted books, and it's full of things like you can play I Spy in your tent, very 1950s, and a little bit about the Land Reform Act 2014 apparently. It also has good advice like dry bags are apparently optional for camping in England.
That's interesting to know. Would you be happy if you come down on Christmas morning and Santa has put that in your stocking?
I wouldn't be hugely impressed.
That that bit. Thank you, Richard. You're now reviewing the Touratech helmet for us.
Of Graham's, and it feels good. We've got a nice vent on the front. The peak is removable. The visor's removable. You can use it with goggles. Handy little clip for your goggle strap so they don't fall off. Nice venting and a pretty colour. Would I be happy at Christmas? Yeah, probably.
Great, thank you very much.
What books have we got here?
Well, Sam's book, which is absolutely fantastic.
Have you read any of his books?
I've read all of them, and I'm going to reread them this winter because they're just fantastic read.
Yeah. Okay. So that's a thumbs up for that one.
That's a real thumbs up for Sam's book.
And that one's Distant Suns.
Yeah, that's the South American.
Yeah. And what else have you got?
A strange object. Well, I think it's for your brake pedal. My colleague here is. I think that's when you're standing. No, that's when you're travelling normally, and that bit's for when you're standing up.
Right.
And it goes on your brake pedal.
Right. Clever, eh?
I don't know who made it's made by
Alt-Rider.
Alt-Rider. I'm sure. I don't know if it fits a particular bike or
You'd assume it would, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
It'd be bike specific, but
yeah.
we've wondered what that is.
I'm sure it's a wonderful piece of kit, but anyway.
We can't test it, can we?
Know, do we? We've got a rather strange one here. Adventure pants.
Adventure pants
for your adventure.
How do they differ from a non-adventure pant?
Well, they're adventure pants, obviously. They're squidgy. We've got padding
in the bottom.
Yeah.
So they're basically a cycle pant.
For the necessary areas are padded.
Yeah.
We think that the guy who invented them was a cyclist and thought motorcycle comfort. So you got three different types for different positions: your sport, your adventure, and your cruiser. These are your adventure. So you've got different riding positions. So this is more suited for the adventure rider. So you've got padding.
Right.
And the necessary bits.
Would you wear them?
Not on the outside. Unless I was being a superhero or something.
Are you a superhero?
Well, I wouldn't like to say, you know.
And we were rather keen on the socks.
Are they waterproof?
They are waterproof. They're made of Australian merino wool. They're sealskin socks.
Sealskin.
And they're lovely, apart from you didn't like the colour.
Yes, I did.
No, they do look a bit dated, don't they? Like an old pair.
I actually got them, not this colour, but I got them and I rate them and I think they're very good. So I would like it as a gift. I don't know about the guys.
They're in a pair now and they're very good.
We also had several books, but we actually preferred this one out of all the books. So very sorry about the books for the other authors, but we found this one to be the glossiest, the most nicest, the most relevant, readable to.
Can you read?
What we want. You didn't write anything in here, did you, Dave?
No.
So that was a winner.
That's a winner.
And the socks were a winner.
What about the Chris Scott book?
Chris Scott.
Yeah.
Can't recommend this enough. Fantastic book. I've read it myself. It's by the renowned author of Desert Biking Adventure Motorcycling Handbook, which if you're remotely interested in motorcycles, you have to read. And also, what else has he written? Desert Biking, I know he's written about...
And this one's about his time as dispatching...
his time in the 80s as a dispatch rider. It's a very evocative of my adolescence in London, growing up on crappy, cheap bikes, homemade stuff, and just bombing around and being general nuisance.
And it's a cheap... That's an atlas that you can... Would you buy one for yourself?
Probably not, but if I received it as a gift, it would probably find somewhere in the garage.
Yeah, so that was a very quick look at some of the gifts that you could buy your dearest and nearest for Christmas.
Now it's time for the second part of our Adventure Rally Special.
Here returns Andrew, the intrepid explorer. He has been completely around the corner. What, Andrew, pray tell, have you discovered?
Discovered that you go round there, and then round there again, and round again.
you get to the other side of the mountain. My road book has become a little bit loose, which you wouldn't think is too much of a problem, but the noise it makes from a certain RPM is mind-numbing. So I've just got to tighten up. It's not a big deal.
And the bolts?
The bigger deal is the fairing bolts that hold the bottom of the fairing on. There's 2 on each side, and one's come loose on each side. So I've got to keep an eye on them. But that's fine.
Yesterday we hadn't quite caught up with our planned daily mileage, but a couple of 100 miles would see us back on track today. It's impossible to do the early morning views justice, as we look down into the valleys full of cloud. Another reminder of why we'd chosen this route. Miles and miles of off-trail riding this great, and really just on our doorstep. We could not get enough of it. What we had enough of was problems, but they just kept coming.
Problem with Graham's bike is that he's lost 2 bolts off his tyre, and he's got a third one that is just about to go. So we're... Put it this way, I can't lose many more bolts, so the whole thing will just start falling to pieces.
This isn't a great sales advert for a perfect fairing, is it?
What I needed was a fairing bolt shop. But where would one find such a place?
Found a hardware shop where hopefully we can buy some screws or little bolts to replace the ones that have dropped out of my fairing.
Quite amazed. I think it was just fluke driving past one and thinking that looks like a hardware store, and saying to Graham, I think you can get your screws and your nuts.
Well, Eagle Eyes Mr. Lee spotted a hardware store. I just drove past it with my eyes shut, obviously, and we found screws to replace the ones that have been cut up my bike. So all happy days.
Fairing secured back in place, it was back to those gorgeous trails, and hopefully the rest of the day of trouble-free riding. Yes.
As I was riding along, I thought the tower was moving more and more, and I looked down to check it, and if Tom comes down with the camera, you can see what I saw when I checked the tower. So the tower has split on one side almost all the way down near where it joins the bike. I mean, there's not very much weight on it. It's the clocks, sat nav and the road book, which is what's meant to be on it.
And the lights.
And the lights, but those things are all meant to be on the tower. I'm just actually so full of things going wrong with, not with the bike, it's the things that I've attached to the bike. But I'm actually just, whatever. Fuck off. I'm sort of am and I'm sort of not. I'm just a bit nonplussed really. So luckily there's holes in the metalwork that we can put cable ties through. And for now that's all we can do. And if the cable ties hold, then we're sorted. And if they don't, I thought about getting it welded, but the trouble is with welding, it's, as Tom pointed out, it's aluminium. So if we can't get it welded, then we'll have to see if we can get a plate bolted across it.
Well, as you can see, oh god, my hair is awful, isn't it?
Oh, darling, your hair's awful.
Well, as you can see, despite all the problems, we're all staying in good humour. Well, me and Andrew are anyway.
We're in particularly good humour.
Actually, he's in very good humour.
Just when you thought it couldn't get any worse, I've discovered the other side's cracked.
That's terminal. That there.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the problem with that is going all along that joint there. So eventually that's just going to go.
And then the other side will just swing like a way.
And the danger is it could cause an accident.
I hate to admit it. And the worst bit about it is it's up everybody else's trip. But this could be terminal.
I'm Hugo from Toulouse in France, and I'm here with my daddy for the Trans-Pyrenean Trail. Yeah, for a week.
Fantastic.
Yeah, fantastic landscape. We're very having fun. Yeah.
And your bike, Yamaha Tenere, is it?
Yeah, Tenere. It's a 660 Tenere.
Hello, I am Hugo's father. This is my son.
Wow.
And I drive for my son for just the holiday.
We're now just thinking about the options about whether we should just top gear style, just
Top gear
leave
style,
him
just
here
go.
and go.
Yeah.
Quite tempting, isn't
It is. It's quite tempting. We could ride with them as well. They're doing the
Yeah,
same
we could
job.
just. Graham,
we're going to go off with.
Yeah, we're going to leave you here, and we're going to ride with these two. Okay?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Okay, so Graham's still fixing his bike, trying to fix his bike. We'll find out what the plan is in a minute. But while that happens, Andrew just asked an interesting question.
How long has each bike taken to fix when it's broken down? Or something's happened?
So should we start with Graham's?
Let's start with Graham's.
Okay.
I think so.
So Graham's, leaking fuel in the UK on the way here.
Leaking fuel on the... Yeah.
And I burnt my finger, but I burnt it on his bike. So
delayed even more time.
Yep.
But
so that,
due to his bike.
That was about 35 minutes.
35 minutes.
Okay, so 35 minutes for that one. Then what was the next thing that went
The next thing was
Eurotunnel. Just before we got to the Eurotunnel, leaky bike again.
Leaky bike. Oh, had to.
So in total, the Triumph has lost us a total of 0 time.
Nil point.
Nothing. Perfect so far. Andrew's KTM, a total of 50 minutes.
50?
50 minutes.
50.
Now Graham, it might take me a while to add this up. 6 hours and 25 minutes.
6 hours.
6
and
hours.
25.
6 hours and 25 minutes. Congratulations, Graham. Wow.
So, we had no alternative but to ride very slowly until we found a town where I could attempt a fix on the rally tower.
Trying to find a town of some size that will have a mechanic of any description, and this is just a tiny little mountain village. I can't risk taking the bike off road. It's split all the way down now. I mean, basically my whole tower has been held on by the fairing at the bottom and by the cable ties. So I've just got to stick slowly to ride on the tarmac. And I think we just ride the tarmac until we find a bigger town. Simple as that.
So Graham's fairing is broken, as you know, and we made our way to the first village that we could find. And actually it's up a one-way road that leads nowhere, and we were wondering what to do, and then lo and behold, a friendly New Yorker turns up. In fact, he's lived out here for 30 years, but he's just about to go and cut some nettles to make some nettle soup. But the best bit about this New Yorker is he's told us where to go to find a mechanic who could possibly weld Graham's bike and repair it.
We've decided that because we're going to have to find, we couldn't go wild camping tonight because There is nowhere in the world my bike's safe to ride off-road. I mean, I could do it, but I risk having a big problem. So we found a campsite literally half a mile down the road from the mechanic that the nice American gentleman up in the mountains suggested we go to see. So we're going to have civilised camping tonight, and hopefully some food in the restaurant, and definitely a beer or two.
So what do they say, Graham?
What it does prove is there's no time like the present. So do you want the good news or the bad news?
Both.
Well, the good news is they can fix it.
Yeah.
Bad news is they can't do it till Wednesday morning. Yes, an evening of hard decisions because it's only Monday evening. I can't believe it's only Monday. I can't believe it's only Monday. We can't complete it, so we have other decisions to make. And Andrew's made a decision.
I'm going to head off back to work, which, you know, sounds a bit down, but I've got some commitments that I need to fulfill at work, and if we're not able to complete the challenge, then I'm going to rush back and try and complete those commitments.
And
So
Tom and I are going to wait for my bike to be finished and
Yep.
then try and get back home completely in one day, which
Yeah.
will mean
Hopefully, if we've worked out the mileage from here to Llanelli, which is in South Wales where I live, I should do just over 1,000 miles, which means I can do an Iron Butt challenge, which means at least we're ending on a challenge.
I'm going to do the terribly British thing.
Terribly British, old man.
Terribly British, old man.
Safe journey.
Ride safe, my friend.
See you later. Just me and Tom now. Go up. Right.
So we've just kind of had our day of hanging around the campsite waiting for Graham's bike to be fixed tomorrow. We've done many exciting things. We have been whittling. I've made my own spork. Oh yeah. And now we are sitting down to dinner and we're watching Mondo Enduro on my laptop.
Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Day before yesterday when we came to the garage of Robert, he came and got his mate who literally just round the corner, a couple of doors round, has a full fabrication shop. So that's where we are now, because we've had to wait to get in to be free. And the guys are now sort of stripping bits back so they can see what metalwork they need, and they're fabricating a couple of brackets to hold the broken bits in place. Right, that's where it's cracked all the way through. Yeah. It's also cracked down here, it started, and it's the same on the other side where that crack is. The guy who's doing the fixing just looked at me and said, complicado, and there's no ambiguity with what that means. All the things you expect to find in a fabrication shop. The white chicken was the least of them. Right, well, the bike is finally fixed. We're fueled up and ready to go. It's 12:30, and we're going to get home as quickly as we can. But really, in truth, the next part of the trip is really all about Tom, trying to get back in 24 hours. And I deliberately say Tom because I'm not sure I've got the energy to do that. So, but I'm sure Tom will. And good luck, Tom. Right, well, that's the end of the show. Thank you everyone for coming.
See you in 2016.
We stock the best adventure bike clothing on the market,
including Climb and Ribbit.
and other brands that we do trust as well. And as you can see, we take this all very seriously.